Hello and welcome back to the Wii U 5. I've been practicing my Japanglish to absolutely no end goal. Princess Pichuru, Pikachu-san, Princess Saruda. You know, I'm just gonna walk up behind someone and punch them in the back of the head. Surprise, Matsufakeru. It's only profanity if people know what you're saying. I'm pretty sure I'll get away with it because people will think I'm absolutely crazy. Darksiders 2 was a third-party launch title for the Wii U. Brought to us by the now defunct THQ and developed by the also defunct Vigil Games, this action-adventure RPG title may very well be a good backlog title to help hold you off during the wait for Zelda on the Wii U. As an action-adventure title, the game features a decent dose of platforming. In addition, it also contains a good amount of puzzle platforming as well, and it sometimes includes some rather clever puzzles. Most puzzles, however, are easily surmountable, and the platforming is nary a challenge. This isn't necessarily a bad thing because it keeps the game moving along, but then we move into combat. Following a more hack-and-slash attack system, the combat does feature Z-targeting clearly influenced by Zelda. Unfortunately, this targeting system falls apart later in the game against larger numbers of mobs, and you'll find yourself mostly hacking away by button mashing. On the flip side, the targeting system works like it should against single targets when dodging is paramount. That is until the camera has issues and makes things a little more difficult for you. To help you deal with these issues, not only does Death level up and become more powerful, but there is plenty of equipment to go through, and at times too much, as well as upgrading skills and purchasing new attack moves. Once you're used to combat, you'll find yourself in a world that takes even more than just Z-targeting from Zelda. How about the rule of 3? Ad nauseum. Or how the game has its own chime for puzzle progress. Or how about riding a green flaming horse until you can get your hands on Epona? Or how any Zelda fan won't be able to resist smashing pots. Last but not least, gamepad usage is convenient but hardly useful compared to how standard skill use pauses the game during critical real-time situations. The main story took me about 15 hours to complete, and for the budget price this game can be found for, that's not bad at all. And that's really where your core time will be spent. There is side content if you look for it, but the side quests are fairly meaningless for the most part. Also included is some pre-order DLC equipment, and more notably the first DLC campaign, Argul's Tomb, which will add an hour or two to your playtime. Despite that, I am confident in saying you'll find yourself focused on the core game almost the entire time. The core campaign takes you through all of the standard tropes of game environments, and this environmental variety is actually rather interesting. Unfortunately, the huge overworld itself feels rather hollow, even when you explore it on horseback. At least they threw in some third-person shooter segments that, for better or worse, really change up the pace. This is an area that gives and also takes away from your experience. First, the bad. There are frame rate dips galore and lots of screen tearing. The often blurry textures aren't really so bad if it weren't for a frame rate that sometimes dips so low it affects your combat efficiency, and screen tearing that glares at you outside of combat. Even the infrequent door loading is tolerable in comparison. While it's all possibly a problem of early Wii U dev kits, these technical issues do take a bit away from what the game does give you. What it does give you is an art style all its own with environments that are wonderfully crafted with a level of simple complexity. It also gives you some of the most ambient and pleasant music composed by Jesper Kyd. It also gives you some of the best voice acting you'll come across in a video game, including some good old-fashioned sarcasm.
You'd only speak with those who are worthy. Then you must rarely see him, Charles.
If there's one summation I can make about this game underperforming financially, it's that they put too much money into a game that was designed off of existing concepts found in other games. Darksiders 2 is by no means a bad game, but it lives off the ideas of others. Add to that clearly over-budgeted voice actors, not that I'm complaining about the results, and you've got a game that feels cookie-cutter, even if its visuals do not belie this immediately. Garnish that with technical foibles and weaknesses and a combat system that does not always hold up, and there's a lot holding this game back. Still, I enjoyed it for what it does deliver, and that's quite a narrative adventure worth every penny for those looking for a fix in the wait leading up to Zelda on the Wii U. I give Darksiders 2 an 8 out of 10. That's it for today. Like my Facebook page, follow me on Twitter, and of course subscribe for more Wii U content delivered directly to your retinas. I'll see you next time on the Wii U 5.